Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Monday, November 18th. I'm John Weigell here with Rob Litterst, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Young people today have been dubbed Generation AI by some, and that's not at all wrong. AI has entered many teens' lives at a formative time, and it's transformed the way they do homework, learn, and experience life just in general. So what do teens think about AI right now, and how much do they actually use it? We'll get to that in a minute, but first, let's give you the news in business and tech. Getting us started with the fast food giant McDonald's, they're shelling out $100 million to get customers back in the door after the E. coli outbreak that sickened over 100 people. The company is going to spend $35 million on marketing, including a chicken nugget value deal, ooh, tempting, and $65 on the franchises most affected by the outbreak. From there, we go to the NBA. The TV rights lawsuit between Warner Bros. Discovery and the NBA is now finally settled. Although Warner Bros. Discovery will still lose its rights to broadcast NBA games, they'll be able to develop new shows with NBA content in the US and abroad, and they'll have international NBA rights in places like Northern Europe and Latin America, excluding places like Mexico and Brazil. So, cut and dry, but a pretty decent deal for Warner Brothers when you get down to it. Next, has your phone stopped blowing up lately? I wish mine has. According to the FTC's annual report, spam calls are down over 50% from 2021. The FTC's Operation Stop Scam Calls, very creative title, which launched in 2023, has tried to crack down on illegal telemarketing, including most robocalls and voice cloning. From there, we're talking about desks. So sorry for all the standing desk folks out there, but reported by the Washington Post is a new study of over 83,000 adults that found that standing for more than 2 hours a day doesn't protect you from cardiovascular risks, and it actually heightens your risk of circulatory problems. So that's unfortunate, but sitting all day, on the other hand, isn't much better. So the key really is to move about every 30 minutes, experts say. And finally, Netflix reported that a record 60 million households watched Jake Paul defeat Mike Tyson last Friday, and that explains 95,000 reports of buffering and other tech issues that people were plagued with. The fight also generated $17.8 million in ticket revenue, which is the largest boxing gate ever outside of Nevada for that snooze fest. So teens are using AI like crazy, as many of us are, and today we're examining a bunch of data and surveys to find out why they're using it so much and what they really think about it. So, Rob, can you tell us about what survey we're honing in on today?
Yeah, so this organization, the Center for Youth, is a youth-led research organization that has dubbed today's teenagers Generation AI. This research org is led by two teens, and the center published new research this week from a survey of over 1,000 US teens about their usage, opinions, and fears of AI. So according to the survey, 47% of teens are using AI tools like ChatGPT several times a week or more.
Wow.
Anecdotally, I've talked to a few people who have teens. They're turning to ChatGPT instead of Google.
Yeah.
That's what they use instead of searching the web.
Right.
Clearly, our generation, we're Google native. I wouldn't quite call us AI native. We're learning it.
Right.
But these generations who are starting to use it in their early teens, they are going to be like AI native users. And I think it's just going to be a huge part of their life.
Yeah, what might seem, I guess, like a learning curve for us or people that are new to it, this generation is kind of born with it or going through adolescence with it and kind of forming their daily lives around it. And so, yeah, you and I are like generational Google guys.
We're internet native. Yeah, exactly.
Internet native. And even when they integrated the Gemini on Google search, I was just super annoyed at it at first. I was like, what is this here? And now it's really helpful. So
totally.
These things change with time, obviously. And yeah, experiencing AI as the first thing you have has led to a lot of other things that the younger generations are experiencing in terms of consulting it for every question they have or using it when they're bored or, you know, there's a lot of uses for it. So they're really carrying it out that way.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So it seems like they're using them over image and video generating tools. They're leaning on them for homework, obviously staving off boredom, translation. The homework thing is crazy.
Yeah.
If ChatGPT was around when I was in middle school and high school, I would have used it so much for homework.
Same.
It's really interesting. If you're working at a tech company, the tech company can probably move pretty fast to adopt new technology. So like our marketing team has been using ChatGPT for the last couple of years as it came out for a wide variety of things, right? We've kind of incorporated it into our workflow. Right. HubSpot has started building products based off of generative AI. But when you think about schools, I don't think most middle and high school teachers are pivoting their curriculum super, super quickly, or even know how to pivot their curriculum to align it with the way that kids are learning now and like what's available to them.
Right.
If they're doing all of this research and learning through Gen AI, this has obviously been heavily debated, but you don't want somebody plagiarizing something.
Sure.
You don't want to make it so that somebody basically could get away with that. And so I think it kind of like means teachers need to rethink how they test knowledge and like what they ask questions about in general. So it's going to be a really, really interesting thing for schools. And I do not envy the position that teachers are in now having to deal with this.
Yeah, me either. Where does the critical thinking come in?
Right.
I mean, if you gave me this, as you mentioned, like, and you told me to summarize a chapter of the Scarlet Letter, like, boom.
Done.
Oh yeah, would have used this immediately. No problem. So I guess maybe there's more to be said about in-person learning and coming into the classroom and being like, okay, write me a blurb about this with a pencil or something. So
Totally.
maybe that's how they can get around it one way. I'm not a teacher, but yeah, I do not envy the position they're in. Homework is probably the most cited reason for them using AI, but some others, of course, you mentioned a few, but there's also companionship and guidance.
Right.
You know, people are turning to ChatGPT more so than they are WebMD, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I guess really, what do they think about it? Because, you know, we see a lot of use from teens on AI, but do they actually think that it's like this fantastic system that has no problems or no room for failure? Or are they kind of skeptical of it like maybe I am or you are?
Yeah, so according to the Center for Youth and their AI survey, 80% of respondents said that AI risks are important for lawmakers to address, which ranks higher than social inequality and climate change, which are 78% and 77% respectively. So obviously that's something that they feel very strongly about. Only healthcare access and affordability ranked higher as a priority on that AI survey than AI risks.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of worry about misinformation, deepfakes, mass surveillance, privacy violations, and AI like more or less kind of taking over the world and the job market.
Yeah, sure.
So I definitely think that there's a lot of concern. I think it goes hand in hand with the usage and adoption. If you listen to podcasts and you listen to experts talk about it, I think Yamini, our CEO, just recently said something on LinkedIn about how like AI is not going to replace humans. They're going to empower humans to do more. And I do think that that's what people generally think in the short term. But you hear some of like the people who are really close to this and what they think AI is going to be able to do in the next 5 to 10 years. And it's really hard to think about how jobs won't be affected.
Right.
It's hard to grapple with what it'll be able to do and what that will mean for the job market. Yeah. I would also be concerned if I was that generation. I think so much of the economy has gone towards like knowledge work and digital work over the last few decades. And maybe what we're going to see is just a reversal and work going more towards the physical world. Yeah. If knowledge work can be so streamlined through AI and technology, then maybe it just means humans need to do more work in the physical world, which might not be a bad thing.
We've seen reports lately about Gen Z workers turning to trades to do more physical work and kind of do more, a quote, tool belt scenario jobs rather than digital jobs, kind of avoid that. Because as much as we do need digital work, of course, with like the influx of new AI, we do need people that know how to fix a car, like can wire up your house or, you know, kind of do any of those tasks. So they're still necessary.
Right.
It's interesting to see where this generation will go in terms of what they decide to do and their use of AI, because I mean, all of them are AI experts now because they use it all the time.
Totally.
And how that'll impact the job market going forward.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor is Robert Hartwig. Our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, everyone. It's Michael Calore, Director of Consumer Tech and Culture at Wired, here with my colleagues, senior writer Lauren Good.
Hello.
And Wired contributor Zoe Schiffer.
Hey, everyone.
We're here to tell you about our new podcast, Uncanny Valley, a show about the people, power, and influence of Silicon Valley.
Every week, we get together to talk about how technology and culture from the Valley is influencing our everyday lives.
We dig into questions like, will we ever get our privacy back? Is OpenAI for real? And how are Silicon Valley billionaires impacting U.S. elections?
The first episode of Uncanny Valley comes out on October 31st. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.